There is an argument within the Matrix movies that is perhaps the most important and game-changing of the films. We can observe a typical dichotomy of good versus evil, of humans against machines. But perhaps there is a deeper meaning that went unnoticed. What if the machines are actually the saviors of our planet and our species? Welcome to Matrix Explained, and today we're going to take a look at the motivations and fears of the machines.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
To understand the machine's perspective, we must go back to the very beginning of the story. The human race was at war against the robots they created. The humans were forced to use atomic weapons to block out the sky so that the robots could not be recharged with solar energy. Without the sun, the robots had no other choice but to use the humans as their new source of energy by trapping them into a machine and into a world simulator. But what if I told you that in reality, the humans in this story are the real villains and that the machines are actually saving the world? Now, let's go back to a time before the war. In the story, the more humans advanced technologically, the more dependent they became on the machines. Robotics became the cornerstone of human development, until they reached a point where the world itself became a machine planet inhabited by humans. Humans spent their days enjoying different pleasures, luxuries, and even crimes, while robots began to develop consciousness and individuality. When the humans realized this, they began to destroy the robots for fear that they may rebel. But many robots were able to escape and build a city far from the humans, where they perfected their artificial intelligence and lived peacefully. The machines actually wanted to coexist with the humans, so they sent representatives to the leaders' assembly, which they were detained and subsequently destroyed. Far from reaching an agreement, the humans launched a large-scale attack on the robot cities, using nuclear weapons and blocking out the sun. The rest is history. So from the perspective of the machines, humans are selfish and highly dangerous, not only to the robots, but to the rest of the planet. Yet the most disturbing thing about this is how similar it is to the real world. Every day, we become more dependent on machines, and a future similar to the one in the Matrix is highly probable. We can see that although our species is the most intelligent on the planet, it is also the most destructive. We create increasingly more effective weapons that are capable of not only killing ourselves, but also our environment. Faced with a threat that endangers human dominance, a nuclear attack on a large scale is possible. Tensions between different countries are always a factor. World powers such as Russia, the United States, China, North Korea, and others continuously speak of a possible nuclear war. Taking into account that these threats of nuclear bombs are summarized within some economic interests, humans are willing to go to the extreme if they feel that another superior species may be taking their place in the world, and in the case of the Matrix, it was the machines. Currently, scientists are working on the creation of an artificial intelligence superior to humans, and once this happens, it would be very naive to think that we will always maintain control over it. Although we have not yet developed a true artificial intelligence, the use of machines and robots is becoming more common, from computers in each home to robots being used by the police. It seems that every day we are getting closer to a future in which machines are the ones who are controlling our society, while humans just stand and watch. Now, the film's Machines understood how destructive humans can be, confirmed by the words of Agent Smith, whom he compares the human race to a virus, that it destroys everything in its path. Different evolutionary mechanics on our planet are what led other species to create the harmony that Agent Smith describes in his monologue, but the humans have corrupted it. We can see the traces of human destruction and contamination negatively affecting our environment and other species. It is for this reason that Smith calls us a plague. However, there are those who work to help improve the planet, but they are a minority. Most people are indifferent to what happens to the planet, as long as everything goes according to their own self-interests. The machines were created just to facilitate and improve human society. But the machines reached a different conclusion, one similar to another classic sci-fi film, The Terminator. The humans are the immediate threat to the planet and must be destroyed. But in The Matrix, there is a forgotten detail, and that is that the robots wanted to live with the humans, not to annihilate them. So what if the robots are actually protecting the humans in the Matrix movies? Now let's talk about how the humans became the new power source for the machines. According to the film's plot, humans became the power source for the machines since they could no longer use solar rays to recharge their power supplies. But this explanation does not make any sense for many reasons. The energy required for the humans to survive within the Matrix would be greater than the energy they can generate. This little detail has been discussed ever since the movie was released, and has also been made fun of in many other pieces of entertainment. But maybe we've been looking at this the wrong way. If the machines only wanted the humans as their new power source, it would make no sense in the movie.
Did you know that the first Matrix was designed to be a perfect human world where none suffered, where everyone would be happy? It was a disaster. No one would accept the program. Entire crops were lost. Some believed that we lacked the programming language to describe your perfect world, but I believe that as a species, human beings define their reality through misery and suffering. The perfect world was a dream that your primitive cerebrum kept trying to wake up from.
Upon observation, we can make out that Smith is basically saying that the machines created a simulated paradise for the humans, but they rejected it, and thus they created the Matrix as seen in the film. We could interpret that the world was almost destroyed by the humans, condemning our species and all others to a dystopian future in which the sky was burned out. The machines decided to put the last human survivors in a perfect world within a simulation where they can never discover the truth. The truth that the humans destroyed the planet. The robots continued their duties, making life easier for the humans, while at the same time controlling the society. If they are indeed the villains of this story, then they would only be guilty of the crime of trapping humans against their will and using them as a power source. But looking at the bigger picture objectively, the crimes committed by the humans are actually more severe. The humans would be responsible for destroying the planet just to win a war, a simple display of fear and selfishness. Looking back at the Matrix films in a different perspective, humanity seems to be solely responsible for everything negative that happened, and that the robots only wish to maintain order. The arrival of a true artificial intelligence is imminent, the creation of an awareness capable of solving most of the world's problems. Our leaders are often predisposed to corruption, influenced by power and greed. Our emotions makes us selfish and dangerous. So if a machine was in charge of humanity, it would not be predisposed to corruption because it would not have our limitations or needs. It would instead use reasoning to preserve our planet. There is an obvious fear of humans being governed by robots, but if we just stop and look at the current situation, wouldn't it be better to live in a world that is led by something that is not human, but can make decisions based on something other than emotions or economic interests? Perhaps in the not too distant future, this question could be presented to us. Because the fact is, every day we are more dependent on machines. Why would we want a human leading us if we can have a highly intelligent machine that can work without resting and have no hidden agendas? When we watch the Matrix movies, we tend to side with the rebels who wish to free all humanity from the Matrix. But is being free really in their best interests? Are they not better off being controlled by something much more intelligent than them? The robots may have created this place to protect the humans, where they could continue to be destructive without any real-world consequences. For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.